Okay, welcome to Intro to Brewing Craft Beer. My name is Brandon Dion, and we are going to walk through my course here. So this is the landing page. This is the home page that all of the students will arrive at when they enter the class. So it's just got the Welcome to Craft Beer 101 down here. We've got a photo of the inside of a brewery. From here, we will go into discussions. So there are two discussions required in this class. The first one is the introduction, which it's a basic introduction just like any other um, online class where the students will just kind of introduce themselves, say who they are, what they know, why they're here, um, and kind of introduce themselves to each other and to the professor. And then we've got another discussion in Module 7, and we will get into the details of that when we go through the modules. Next, we've got our syllabus. So just a basic welcome, a little overview of what's included in the class, how the class is going to run. So starting with discussions here, like I said, there are two discussions. The students are expected to contribute with the original post and then posts on peers. Then we have assignments. There are readings associated with all the modules. That some of the modules also have video lectures. So we've got 4 modules that actually include a video lecture. Some of them are pretty content heavy, especially module 5. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. 6 quizzes in the class. Everything that is asked on the quiz is addressed directly either in the video lectures or in the assigned readings. So there's no reason the student shouldn't do awesome on the quizzes as long as they've done the work on the front end. So they do have to score at least 80% on each quiz to move on to the next module. However, they do get 3 opportunities to pass each one of the quizzes. There's also going to be 1 writing assignment that comes in Module 7, and we'll talk about the details of that when we go through the modules. The final exam. So the final exam is a big deal in this course. A lot of grading weight is placed upon the final exam. The final exam is cumulative. It is not timed, unlike the other quizzes, but the questions are pulled directly from the quizzes. So really, if the student was achieving a score of 80 or better on all the quizzes, they shouldn't have a problem because they've seen all the questions before. And they should know the answers if they've done the work. So talking about grading. So discussions, 2.5 points possible. That introductory discussion does not count. The 2.5 points comes from Module 7. We've got the paper, 7.5 points, also Module 7. 45 points possible from the quizzes, and then 45 points possible from that final exam. So basically, if they bomb the final exam, they have no chance of passing the class. But again, if they've done well along the way, they shouldn't have any issue with that. Final grading, pretty standard. Letter system, A through F. Then we've got instructor contact info here. Moving to the modules themselves. So starting with Module 1. Module 1 goes over the history of craft beer. We've got that introduction discussion. We've got 3 articles in this module. So the student will simply click on that. It'll bring them to the article. Again, they're responsible for reading and understanding the information that's in the article so that they can do well on the quiz. Go back here. So some of these I was able to link directly, like link the page in if it was a secure site. A lot of the sites that I retrieved information from were not secure, so Canvas would not allow me to directly embed that URL. So in those cases, I just have the link here. Gives the student a little bit of direction, read the article, watch the video, and then of course we've got citations for those links. So we'll go back here to modules. Module 1, of course, includes a quiz. That's where all the points are going to come from in Module 1. Moving on to brewing equipment. So brewing equipment is the first module that includes a lecture. These are all video lectures that I produced. So the student will come in, they'll click on this video, the video starts to play, they watch it, and hopefully retain the information. Hopefully we did a good job with the lectures. So that quiz, everything they need to know about brewing equipment is going to be included in the lecture so they can understand the basic equipment that goes into brewing beer. Module 3 moves on to safety. So we've got another article for the student to read. Really good article here. The quiz for Module 3 will be based on all the information there. And then again, we've got another lecture, so they'll watch that video lecture. Coming to Module 4, we've got our brewing ingredients. Again, another video. Most of these videos are about 5 to 7 minutes. They're not terribly intense for the first 3. They've also got an article to read with that one, and then a quiz over both, of course. Module 5 is where it gets pretty heavy. The Module 5 lecture is about 26 minutes. It's extremely content heavy. It's recommended in the syllabus that, some of these are content heavy and the students may need to watch them more than once. Same 10-question quiz, just like all the others. Shouldn't be too tough. Module 6 gets into understanding craft beer styles, alcohol by volume, international bitterness units. So, like the previous modules, we've got an article that they'll be responsible for reading. Some of these are pretty long. This one, for instance, there's a wealth of information, so the student is only expected to be responsible for a portion of this article. Although if they want more information, there's a ton there. It's a really good article. Going back to our modules here. All right, so Module 7. This one, the students are going to be responsible just for a discussion. They've got 2.5 points that they can receive there. And then there is the assignment. So no lectures, no readings. But there is a 2-part assignment associated with this module. So what we want the students to do is select a craft beer. Now that they should have a good understanding of how the brewing process works, what the tools are, what the ingredients look like, and how they affect the brewing outcome. So what they're going to be responsible for is to choose a beer that they'd like to brew, locate that recipe, and write a 2 to 3 page paper about creating that beer. How they would go about getting started, what tools they would need, how time and temperature are going to affect that particular beer that they're wanting to brew, and really the recipe should give them a good idea on that. So it should be a fun paper. They get to choose what it is that they want to create. So the other part is they'll be recording a 2 to 3 minute video, just kind of explaining why they chose that beer and what could possibly affect the outcome of what they're trying to brew. So it should be a relatively fun module for the student because it's completely their choice. Last is Module 8. So Module 8, that 8th week will actually be a dead week, just to give the student time to study because the final exam is cumulative. But as we talked about before, all the questions are drawn directly from the previous quizzes. So if they've done well there, it shouldn't be terribly difficult, but we don't want to lump any new information on them in week 8, just because that final exam is such a heavy part of their grade. So let's go have a look at the quizzes. So we'll take quiz 1. So all the quizzes are 7.5 points with the exception of the final exam. The student has 15 minutes. It's only 10 questions. They do get 3 attempts. They do have to score 80 or better in order to move on and open up the next module. But as I've said, as long as they've done the work on the front end, it's really not too tough. So if we jump in here, we'll have a quick look. Most of them are multiple choice. There's a few true false scattered within the 6 quizzes. There are also some fill in the blank, but all these questions are drawn directly from the lecture and the reading materials. So shouldn't be too bad. So we'll get out of there. All right, pages. Definitely want to visit this. Um, Obviously, here's our landing page, which we've already looked at when we came into the course. I've got an additional citation page here. A few of the embedded um, sources that I used, I was not able to cite in or around the article, so this is just a little additional citation page to add those so that we make sure everything is correctly cited throughout the course. Last thing, and probably most important for the instructor, here in the files section is where I have the job aid and the design document. So the idea here is it's all inclusive. Everything is at the instructor's fingertips. This could be handed off to anyone. They've got all the material built in Canvas, and then they've got these references so they can walk through, and they've got a job aid to help them present this course and run this course for the 8 weeks. And then in case the instructor has any question on goals and objective, the learning theory, or anything else related to the development of the course, we have the original design document here. So the instructor has that as well. So other than that, that's really it. We've talked about the content of the course, the lectures, the quizzes, the reading materials. So it's really quite straightforward. I feel like it's a pretty easy to follow syllabus and a really good course that anyone should be able to be successful in. So thank you for watching my presentation, and that is it for Craft Beer 101.